Hey folks, Bob Kitchen here from Maple Hill. I got a cool new product I want to talk about. It's the Callaway Rogue irons. And I'm going to go over the 3 different models and why they made them and who they're for and all that good stuff. So you're probably familiar with these couple clubs. These have been out a couple of years with the Big Bertha OS, and then a little bit more recent, the PXG 0311. So Callaway came back a few years ago with the Big Bertha iron. This is the OS, the second model. But basically what they did is they started making hollow-headed irons so that there's air trapped inside the head, the golf ball goes far. It kind of hits like a hybrid, but it still looks like an iron. It's a little bit thicker, but the distance and the forgiveness of the golf club are hard to argue. So this golf club has been tremendously popular, successful, etc. It was a little expensive because the manufacturing process of how the golf club's made. And Callaway didn't sell a ton of sets of them because it's $1,300, but the golf club hit. We have the records to prove it. It was awesome. Then you have the PXG. So PXG basically took Bertha's design, thinned the face even more. They put a urethane, a rubber piece inside the club head. They have some fancy name for it on their website. I don't know what it is, but it's some sort of rubber or elastomer or something. So what they did is they could shave the face even thinner. The golf club, they forged the head. It feels incredibly buttery soft. The golf ball does go far off this thing. We have sold this pretty well. This golf club does hit. It's not cheap. You probably know PXG is kind of synonymous with expensive. They don't really go on sale. They don't really care about selling a ton of sets. They're just trying to sell a few and have a huge markup, and they don't care if you can't afford them, don't buy them. That's kind of PXG's MO. So Callaway is basically going to take the two ideas between Bertha and PXG, and then you've got Rogue. So Rogue is going to be their 2018 iron. This happens to be a fitting club, so it's the only one we have so far. So the neck's not going to quite look like that. It's not going to have a screw in it. This is just for hitting and fitting purposes. But this is the finished product. This is the shaft, and this is what the club head's going to look like. So the Rogue is going to be a hollow-headed cup face, 360 degree. And the head itself is actually going to be filled with a different material. So the best way I know to describe this to you is if you take PXG, imagine the club face the club head is huge, and you've basically filled the inside of the club head with like a mattress off your bed. And imagine that it's a firm mattress. So when you jump on it, because it's firm, it has give, but not a ton of give because it's a pretty firm elastomer. So what Rogue has done, what Callaway's done with this guy, is inside this club head, between the face and the back of the golf club, what's trapped inside there, like the Bertha iron, but what's trapped inside this one is little tiny microscopic rubber ball bearing looking things, the little tiny BBs. They actually showed me the material themselves and got the press on it. So because those things are in the club head, when the ball hits the face, those things actually move out of the way and allow more rebound effect, more spring effect to the club head. So you got a better energy transfer back into it, and basically you can increase the sweet spot heel to toe even greater than PXG, make the face even thinner than PXG and Bertha, their own mouse trap, and all in the Rogue category, which is this golf club MAP price, retail price would be $8.99. You know, we usually have a little something for you when it comes to pricing golf clubs, but this thing, they've priced it about a third of what PXG is. It's going to have a buttery soft feel when you guys get a chance to hit this. You're going to absolutely love it. So that's going to be the Rogue iron. It's replacing kind of the XROS family. Steelhead's still going to stick around for another year. But Rogue's going to be huge. So this is going to be a tremendous golf club. I think it's going to be hands down our #1 seller in 2018. I have talked to all the companies. I haven't seen anything that's even remotely close to what this is, as far as technology and price point. You know, TaylorMade's pretty proud of their P790, but it's back to $1,300, and this thing's $400 cheaper, and it's actually a better mousetrap. So that's the normal Rogue model. Then you have Rogue X. Rogue X is Rogue Extreme. You're going to hear that letter X. Callaway's been using it for a while, but you're going to hear that letter X a little bit more in 2018. X is the Extreme. So it's extreme forgiveness and extreme lofts. So the pitching wedge on this guy is rather strong. But so the center of gravity is extremely low. So when the center of gravity is very low, the golf ball naturally wants to go higher. You have to counteract that with loft by bending the loft forward a little bit. So I'm pretty confident in telling you, you've never hit a golf club that goes as far as this. And you never will, because they probably won't make the loft any stronger than this. and the technology inside the club head is pretty darn hard to beat with the microscopic ball bearings. They have a word for it. I'm not sure what it is because it's not on their website yet, but it's basically these little black rubber beads that are inside the club head that move at impact and give it tons of compression and spring effect to it. So Rogue X, a little bit bigger chassis, a little bit bigger sweet spot, bigger face, but it still doesn't look chunky and ugly. This is for the guy that just wants extreme forgiveness, extreme distance. You know, PXG has the XF model. This is kind of that. It's going to be sold in a shortened sets. There's a whole bunch of wedges available. There's a pitching wedge, approach wedge, gap wedge, and sand wedge available in these. There will be hybrid combo sets for both the Rogue and the Rogue X. We'll get more into that once I actually get the hybrids and the fairway woods in here. I'll do a little bit more on those clubs in another video. And then last but not least, the Rogue Pro. So Rogue Pro has got a very nice top line, very minimal offset, really, really sharp looking golf club. It's kind of designed for that Apex Pro guy. It's kind of designed for the Steelhead Pro guy, but with a lot of technology behind it. Because in the lower part of this golf club, in the hollow parts, it does have those rubber ball bearings in there. So this thing's going to have the technology that people want to be cutting edge, and it's going to have the look of a more traditional, more conventional golf club like the Apex. So this is kind of best of both worlds. I might actually play this myself. I love the look of this golf club. Cup face 360. It's kind of got it all. It's a beautiful golf club. Slightly heavier shaft than the other two. As you go into the Rogue and then the Rogue X, the shafts just keep getting lighter. This will be offered in a full set composition. There'll be, I think, a gap wedge available as well. So Rogue Pro, Rogue, and Rogue X, that's 3 golf clubs are going to be tremendous winners for 2018. I strongly advise you go out and try them against whatever you have, because this is cutting edge, this is revolutionary. No one's ever done anything like this before. It's similar to PXG, it's similar to TaylorMade, but they figured out a way to do it better, and that's how Callaway has gotten where they are, and I think that's how they're going to stay where they are, at least for another year, because this stuff's hot. So come on out and give it a try. We're doing pre-fittings now, and the club will be available all 18, I'm sure 19 as well. Callaway's life cycle is usually 2 years, so come on through, righties, lefties, ladies, seniors, doesn't matter. Come on through and give these things a whack. I bet you'll find one of them is considerably better than whatever you currently have. Thanks, we'll see you before too long.